The following is a production of Hometown and Home Country Radio Sports.
And it's right-handed over by Lawrence Newman from the left side of the front row. In the middle, here's a big hammer by Mylentz and the kill. Reagan Haynes up to Paige Schmidt. Right back to Haynes. From the left side, she hammers it down. Played initially by Jensen. Now Knapp bump setting for Haynes. Haynes hammers and she drills it home. Knapp, great pass to Schmidt, set for Lentz. Lentz punishes that ball for a Bulldog point.
Video streaming on the Algona Radio YouTube channel is brought to you by Kemna Auto Center, an experience you deserve. Algona Municipal Utilities, community owned for community benefit. Iowa State Bank, helping people succeed. PMC Advantage Insurance Services, having the advantage makes all the difference. Algona Frame and Auto Body, we meet by accident. And Electronic Specialties, North Iowa's communication professional since 1961. Now, here's Hometown and Home Country Radio Sports Director, Tyler Lance.
And we welcome you into another night of North Central Conference volleyball action here on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. Tonight, two strong teams going at it as the 8-2 Algona Bulldogs take on the 7-2 Clear Lake Lions here from the Clear Lake High School Gymnasium. It's been a great start to the season for both of these teams, and now looking to keep pace in the North Central Conference. Humboldt, the only team in the league undefeated now. Both of these teams just one in the loss column up to this point, as both these teams were defeated earlier by the Wildcats. But in spite of that, both teams putting together strong resumes for the Algona Bulldogs. They have been excellent so far in the season. There are only two losses on the year, in fact, coming against state-ranked teams. That aforementioned match against Humboldt, who's now up to number 3 in Class 3A, and then an earlier tournament loss against Class 4A, number 5, Sioux Center. Besides that, the Bulldogs have rolled so far this season, although they got a little test on Tuesday night. Storm Lake came into Algona and gave the Bulldogs all they could handle. Looked like it was going to be a net where the Bulldogs cruised. They got up 2-0, but then Storm Lake won the next two sets and very nearly took down Algona in the fifth set, but the Bulldogs would hang on and tame the Tornadoes on Tuesday night. So with Algona back in the win column, they'll look to keep up momentum tonight against the Clear Lake Lions, a team that last year finished below 500, but this year off to an excellent start, 7-2 on the season, now looking to compile some North Central Conference wins after really struggling in conference play last year, including a 3-1 loss to Algona. We'll get into tonight's match. First, we'll talk with Bulldog head coach Missy Berkey. We will replay her interview from this weekend on Breakfast of the Coaches. So we did record that interview over the weekend, so that does mean we're not going to talk about that match against Storm Lake on Tuesday night. You'll have to wait until this Saturday to hear that on Breakfast of the Coaches, but every Saturday morning we talk with coaches around the area, including Coach Berkey. So we'll replay that interview from last Saturday and get her update on the program right now on Hometown Radio KLGA. As we come back on Breakfast of the Coaches on Hometown Radio KLGA, we're talking Algona Bulldog Volleyball right now with head coach Missy Berkey. Coach, as always, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
It was a busy week, coach, for the Bulldogs, and we'll start by going back 1 week ago to Saturdays. You guys had your home tournament, saw some good competition there, and ultimately won 3 out of your 4 matches. So can you start our listeners off with a recap of that tournament and how the Bulldogs did?
Yeah, you never know how Saturdays are going to turn out. It's always nice to start with that home tournament at the beginning of the season. And, we came out and we played really well. We were passing the ball to run our offense. We were talking. They were having fun. And, a rated team in 4A of Sioux Center came to town, and we played them really tough. We lost 2-0, but we lost 21-16 both times. So we got a lot of good things that we saw. We got some blocks on that team. We got some big kills, and that kind of moved us throughout the day as we played them they were the second team we played for the day. So that gave us a lot of confidence for the day. And we were just able to take that confidence from that game and move throughout the weekend.
And, Coach, you obviously have an experienced enough of a team that they kind of know what these weekend tournaments are like. They know how to go from match to match and sort of transition from one to the next. But just talk to me a bit about that mentally. How do you get to that point where teams kind of adapted to playing all those matches in one day and kind of knows how to mentally turn the page from one to the next?
This year we're kind of looking at it a little different with only playing 8 girls. And, I said we have to use this as our just to get us prepared, to get us ready, to get that conditioning of playing all the time. And so, and we only had one game off. So playing and a game off and then playing 3 straight was a lot of good conditioning for us. And we talked about how we do that mentally, how we fuel our bodies and do that throughout the weekend. And they really did a great job of that. And they never once showed that they were fatigued or tired. And they just kept swinging hard all day and playing hard all day, which we needed.
Coach, and it seems, too, in the 3 matches that you guys won, it's not just the fact the Bulldogs won the matches, but it seems like once you got the lead, you guys kind of put it away. You know, you look at a few of the scores, 21-7 over Storm Lake in that first set. You beat Estherville and Central in one of them, 21-8. Had a couple that were decided by, 8, 9, 10 points. So can you talk to me a bit about that, getting the early lead in those and just making sure the other team doesn't get back into it?
Yeah, we again talk a lot about our mental toughness and having mental errors, controlling what we can control, and limiting those mental errors. And when you get down big in a hole to start, it's really hard to come back mentally and physically. And so we've really put that on the girls to, hey, start off strong, keep going strong all throughout the match. And when you do that, things kind of seem to fall into play, and they're really doing a good job.
Coach, after the weekend tournament on Saturday, you got back to NCC play on Thursday night, taking on the Humboldt Wildcats. Humboldt obviously made things a little bit tough in that one, winning 3-0, but take us through that Thursday night. What did you feel the biggest deciding factors in that were?
Humboldt's a really great team this year, and we knew that we had to be on our game. We knew we had to be ready for everyone to be able to put the ball away. We know their setter can set the ball anywhere on the court. And so, we changed up a couple things. We wanted Kate to be on the outside to get some blocks on the outside because their outsides have been hitting really well. And we executed that very well. But, they had a big middle, and she stepped up last night when she needed to. And I thought we played really well. We were in every single one of those games, and they're just a really good team.
Coach, one other thing that stood out about Thursday night, seems like Humboldt was a team that served really aggressively. They had a lot of errors, but they also had a lot of aces as well. Can you talk about trying to go about the serve-receive against them and what kind of difficulties that presented?
Yeah, we knew that going in as well, so we tried to change up our serve-receive a little bit too, and we told the girls, if they go on a run of 2 serves in a row, we're going to change their look. So maybe we're going to pass with 2 instead of 3, or pull somebody else back if we're already passing with 2. I do think that gave that server a little bit different look as to what was on the other side. But yeah, they serve super aggressively, and that kind of gets us out of our offense. And but I thought we passed pretty well for the most part last night.
Coach, the Bulldogs turn the page to a new week now. You'll be seeing Storm Lake on Tuesday night and Clear Lake on Thursday. Obviously, Storm Lake's a team that you just saw at your home tournament, and then Clear Lake, a familiar NCC opponent. So, wrapping up this interview, can you kind of give us a preview of those 2 matches and some of the things that you're potentially working on or looking to see going into that?
Yeah, I told the girls last night, if we play like we played against Humboldt every game, we're going to be just fine. We're going to execute. We're going to run our offense. We can't look past Storm Lake, even though we did beat them at our tournament on Saturday. So we're going to keep serving aggressively like they have been. We're going to keep passing the ball so we can run our offense. Clear Lake, they're always tough no matter where you play them, at home or there, or no matter what their record is. So we're just going to keep running our offense, being aggressive, limiting our mental errors and controlling what we can control, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
Coach, we appreciate your time once again today. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks so much.
Algona volleyball coach Missy Berkey here on Hometown Radio KLGA. All right, that was our interview from this past Saturday as we talked about Algona volleyball coach Missy Berkey. As a reminder, you can catch Breakfast with the Coaches every Saturday morning, 9:05 on Hometown Radio KLGA. We usually start off talking a little football, but after that, we'll get into cross country, volleyball, and more on that program. And like I said, every Saturday, we'll talk with Coach Berkey and get the latest on the Bulldog volleyball program. Well, right now, we're just a couple minutes away from tonight's first serve as Algona takes on Clear Lake. It's the Bulldogs with an 8-2 overall record, 1-1 in the North Central Conference. Clear Lake, they are 7-2 overall, 1-1 in the NCC up to this point. Clear Lake, they lost 3-0 against Humboldt, but they beat Webster City 3-2. Bulldogs, similar story as far as the NCC is concerned, as they were able to pick up the win over Webster City in 3 sets when they faced the Lynx, but they also dropped a 3-0 match against Humboldt. So the Bulldogs, they are looking to get that second NCC win of the season to do tonight here on the road at Clear Lake, and we'll get to that match coming up here in just a few minutes. But first, we'll give a thank you to our video streaming sponsors presenting the Algona Radio YouTube channel. That includes Chemna Auto Center, PMC Advantage Insurance Services, Algona Municipal Utilities, Iowa State Bank, Electronic Specialties, and Algona Frame and Auto Body. Big thank you to them and the rest of our sports club members making all these fall sports broadcasts possible. Well, coming up, it's high school volleyball, Algona and Clear Lake, and it's next on KLGA Algona, 92.7 FM, and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bacon at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
American Glass for all your glass needs. Think American.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona tree service.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch and Daniel Foth.
Ed Service Station, service you can trust.
Glenn's Green Thumb, from a small seed, something beautiful will grow.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
Sports club members bringing you this game.
Some of the most significant power outages in recent years have been caused by extreme cold weather and severe storms. Whether it's snow, ice, or extreme wind, don't be caught in the dark. At Murphy Farm Services, our top-of-the-line Generac or Cummins generators will automatically power your home in the event of a power loss. Already have a standby generator? Call us today to get on our preventative maintenance list to ensure your machine is running at its maximum efficiency. Contact your local certified ag, electrical, and generator sales and service dealer. Murphy Farm Services, delivering the power you need when you need it.
Sponsors of this game broadcast.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Runkey Brothers. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all your auto service and repair needs.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Water Connection. From softeners to bottled water and service, call 295-SOFT.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
Sports club members bringing you this game.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce, 2 sauces for all seasons.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
Dump It, Kasuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
Fairway, everything's easier, fresher, and faster with Algona Fairway.
Sports club members bringing you this game.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at moneypass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
Sports club members bringing you this game.
Erpelding Voigt and Company, CPAs, they're not just about taxes.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Farmer State Bank is proud to be a part of our community. Offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona senior housing and service rooted in God's love.
Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
High Point Land Company, your trusted land partner in Algona. Call 515-320-2491.
You ever get that feeling that, like, something's missing? I just can't put my finger on it. Is there some sort of parade? No. It couldn't be. Did I just hear people cheering? Bingo night must be getting rowdy tonight. Wait a second. That's high school football on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Join Join us this week as Algona faces Waverly Shell Rock on KLGA and Bishop Garrigan faces St. Edmund on KLGZ.
Bringing you this game.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East, Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Oak Crest Funeral Service, celebrating a life lived.
Bill's Auto and Truck Repair Service is the difference.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840 or schindlerlawncare@gmail.com. More sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Holmes Animal Clinic. Animals large and small, they love them all.
Hy-Vee, use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fill your car.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare.
Lichter's Garage Door Service, a reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Blusher's Family Dentistry, serving families since 1965 on Call Street in Algona. Thank you to those sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
AK's Chrome Kitchen, when you come in, your family.
Algona Frame and Auto Body, we meet by accident.
Algona Livestock Sales every Monday.
Weikert Realty, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Cotton Grave Farm Management and Land Realty, trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
All sponsors of this game's broadcast.
Hey Bulldog fans, this is Charlie Dodds and you're listening to Algona Volleyball on KLGA.
And we welcome you back into Clear Lake High School for North Central Conference volleyball action between the Algona Bulldogs and Clear Lake Lions. The 8-2 Bulldogs and the 7-2 Lions getting ready to go at it tonight. The Algona Bulldogs tonight wearing the red uniforms, black jersey pants. It has the black uniform numerals on the front and back outlined in white, and the white Bulldogs written on the back of the jersey with Algona in white on the front. For Clear Lake, they have the sleeveless white jerseys, black numerals front and back outlined in gold. They have a lion logo on the chest of the uniform, and they also have the arm sleeves, at least some of the players do, some shoulder or some elbow pads, that is, in white as well for the Clear Lake Lions here, getting set to go up against the Algona Bulldogs. One note for Algona in the lineup tonight, no Hayden McLaughlin for the Bulldogs, so we'll see how the Bulldogs adjust their lineup tonight without the 5'11 junior Hayden McLaughlin in there against their NCC foe for this one, the Clear Lake Lions. Bulldogs are down to our right on the video stream for those of you watching online. Clear Lake is down to our left, and we're just about ready to get going here from Clear Lake High School for another busy night of North Central Conference volleyball action. Clear Lake, they've not played in about a week. Meanwhile, Algona, they played on Tuesday night against Storm Lake, winning 3-2 over the Tornadoes in non-conference action. Bulldogs got up early, 2-0 in that one. Storm Lake rallied to win sets 3 and 4, but ultimately Algona prevailed in the fifth set by a narrow 15-13 margin to defeat the Tornadoes and get back on the winning track after last week's defeat at the hands of Humboldt. So just about ready to go here. Bulldogs under the direction of head coach Missy Berkey, who we heard from in the pregame here on Hometown Radio KLGA. Clear Lake under the direction of head coach Heather Johnson. So both teams getting a lineup out there on the floor. Official just double checking the card here, making sure all the right jersey numbers are out there for both teams. Making a list, checking it twice here before we get ready to go. Macy Knapp's going to come onto the floor here for the Algona Libero. And we're about ready to go here as Bulldogs, they were quite loose in the pregame. If you looked down at the Bulldog bench before those lineups were being introduced on the floor, Bell-Jo Dunning and McKenna Elsbecker, they were leading the karaoke and dancing on the Bulldog bench, I can tell you that. So Algona certainly plenty loose coming into tonight's match. Down to our right now, it'll be Taylor Van Otterloo, the Algona junior, to serve and start things off from Clear Lake. Bulldogs serve right to left on the radio dial. Van Otterloo puts it in the air, and we are underway from Clear Lake High School. Here's a set by Payne and an attack from the outside by Johnson. And we've got a whistle right off the get-go. Net is waving around there. That's going to be a net violation to start things off. And Algona gets on top, 1-0 in the early going. Some good length for this Clear Lake team. They have Ayla Johnson checking in at 6'1", Emerson McGrath at 5'11", Taylor Bedford at 5'10", some good height there as Johnson sends a free ball over the net to the Bulldogs. Limbaugh passes up front to Van Otterloo, looking into the middle, slapped over by Dodds, back to the Clear Lake side. Payne sets it up on the backside, tipped over, and it drops in. Soft touch by Ella Landau that time for Clear Lake, and we are tied at 1 in set number 1. Clear Lake has both of the Johnson sisters on the floor right now. The sophomore, Aria Johnson, checking in at 5'8", wearing jersey number 16. Ayla Johnson, older sister, senior at 6'1", wearing jersey number 13 for the Lions, as the service sent over by Landau. Limbaugh from deep sends it over the net. It got stuck there for a second for Clear Lake, but the Lions able to push it back across with Payne. Now Van Otterloo sets for Algona, looking for Haynes, who punches it over from the near side of the court. Back to Clear Lake. Payne looks over to Johnson. Johnson flies in. Big hammer, can't put it down as Limbaugh dug it for Algona. Dodds keeps the ball out of the net, and Limbaugh pushes it back into the Clear Lake back row. Payne to Hegvet, looking for Johnson on the outside. Johnson attacks and wipes it off the Bulldog block. Long point there, ultimately controlled by Clear Lake on the Johnson kill, and the Lions go ahead 2-1 in the first set. Landau, the Clear Lake junior, is over to our left from this Lion team that finished 13-16 last year. They went just 1-6 though in North Central Conference play, as Landau sends a twisting serve over the net. Diving attempt on the dig there by Knapp, and then that ball deflected towards the boundary. Van Otterloo tried to get it back in the middle there, but Haynes was unable to fish that one out on the third touch. And so trouble for the serve there for Algona, 3-1 Clear Lake. Landau will reload the trigger for Clear Lake. She'll approach, and she'll serve a quickly sinking serve into the back row. Knapp digs for Algona. Here's an attack from the left side of the court for Algona by McKenna Elsbecker. Flipped over by Johnson, sent right back by the Bulldogs. And it stayed in bounds. This will be an Algona point. Dodds patrolling that front row for Algona, along with Haynes, and it's 3-2 right now in favor of Clear Lake. Reagan Haynes, junior down to our right. A step over to the right side of the court as she'll come up and she will jump serve. Line drive rocket ball into the back row as Hegvet, the Clear Lake libero, digs it out. Here's Johnson on the outside, sending it over into the corner to Knapp on the Bulldog side. Van Otterloo setting for Limbaugh, tried to bring down the hammer. Clear Lake tipping it at the net and pushing it back across to Payne. On the boundary, it's Knapp, gets it up front to Van Otterloo, looks for Limbaugh, she'll try again, and that time she sends it whistling through the back row to tie it up at 3 apiece. Feed Kate Limbaugh. That is the strategy for the Bulldogs. Limbaugh had an impressive 25 kills on Tuesday night. Bulldogs had 42 kills against Storm Lake as Limbaugh had 25 of them. Haynes sends a nice serve, but it's dug by Johnson in the Clear Lake back row as Ayla Johnson will send it over the net. Van Otterloo setting backside for Algona. Elsbecker right hands it over, and she got it through the back row off the hands of the diving Landau, and the Bulldogs have scored 3 points in a row to take a 4-3 lead. McKenna Elsbecker has been this insertion into the lineup for Algona, with no Hayden McLaughlin down there tonight on the Bulldog bench. Haynes sends a line drive into the back row. Hegvet gets it up front to Payne. Short set in the middle. And the big hammer on the finish by Sophia Tweeten, the Clear Lake senior. And we are tied at 4. Clear Lake was trying early to get that offense going from the outside. Didn't have a ton of success doing it there, so try to get it back into the middle on that point. And they tie things up at 4 apiece as Hegvet, the libero, misfires on the serve. Ball came off the hand awkwardly and goes under the net. Bulldogs get a point on the first service error of the night by either side. And the Bulldog libero Macy Knapp wearing that black jersey down to our right. Jump serves deep into the back row, but too deep. Out of bounds as Landau wisely lets it go. And we are now locked up at 5 in set number 1. Ayla Johnson will head to the pine for Clear Lake. Taylor Bedford, the 5'10 senior for the Lions. Also stalwart on the softball diamond, stepping in to serve. Bedford arcs the serve over. Limbaugh makes the first touch. Elsbecker set for Limbaugh, and Limbaugh punishes that ball into the hardwood. 6-5 Algona. I always call that the two-man game, and that ball stayed in a very condensed area of the court. Elsbecker touched it first, got the ball or I should say Limbaugh touched it first, got it to Elsbecker, maybe about 4 feet in front of her, and then Elsbecker gave it right back to Limbaugh for the big finish. 6-5 right now. Gabby Van Tiger arcs the serve into the back corner. The pass is near the net, sent over by Payne on second contact. Van Otterloo short set in the middle. Dunning is able to put it down. Clear Lake went for the block of the net. Ball got tipped backwards, and Bella Jo Dunning for the early kill of the night to make it 7-5. Like I said, Dunning and Elsbecker, they were keeping things loose on the Bulldog bench, so Dunning with a big smile on her face comes out and gets the early kill. And Van Tiger, high serve efficiency on the Bulldogs this season, but sends this one into the net for a service error, and it's 7-6. Bulldog lead over Clear Lake at 1 right now. Algona as a team just over 90% efficiency on the season. Clear Lake at about 87.4%. As the Lions will call upon Aspen Hill, the sophomore. She's over to our left. just past that basketball baseline, and she'll jump serve from deep, and it's into the net. Another Clear Lake service error, and it's 8-6 in favor of the Bulldogs. Speaking of service aces, Limbaugh right now to serve. Leads the way with 24 aces for Algona. Gabby Van Tiger, Charlie Dodds, and Taylor Van Otterloo each have 9, tied for second on the team. As Payne sets it up on the outside, here's the big attack, but Landau can't put it down. Bulldogs send it together with Haynes. Haynes wipes it off the block. Got it to the outside to Haynes from that left side to put a good spin on that attack. And Bulldogs go up 9-6 here in the first set. Limbaugh will angle herself to the near side of the court before serving. She'll come up, jump serve, and it just got over the net. The libero, Hegvet, makes the first touch. Payne gets the ball right back to Hegvet, who sends the free ball over. Nap for the Bulldogs, passing to Van Otterloo, looks backside for Dunning, curling around, but hits it into the net. And it is 9-7 in favor of Algona. Looked like that ball got there either a little bit too early, or Dunning didn't quite get to that backside quickly enough. You can see what the Bulldogs are trying to do there. Get Dunning running to the outside, get her a little momentum going to that attack, but either Van Otterloo's got to get that ball a little bit higher, or Dunning has to get there a little bit quicker to make that work. Ebling now serves. Knapp makes first contact for Algona. Here's Van Otterloo setting for Haynes. Can't put it down as Johnson digs in the Clear Lake back row. Here's a set on the outside for Landau. Tipped around by the Bulldogs, and this one is going to go as they lift against Algona. Got caught off guard by that ball coming over the net, and it's 9-8 after back-to-back points by Clear Lake, bringing the Lions to within 1. Georgia Ebling, Clear Lake sophomore, with the serve, a rocket ball into the back row, and just out of bounds. Van Tiger and Knapp both gave that one a good long look, but that serve whistles out of bounds. Already third service error by Clear Lake in set 1. Dunning's over to our right. One step inside of the basketball baseline. She'll approach and arc the serve over. Hegvet gets it up front to Payne. Here's a attack from the right side by Tweeden, and Tweeden locates that outside corner of Algona's defense. Kill for the Clear Lake, and it's 10-9. Neither team with a whole lot of a margin to work with so far in set number 1. This is back over to Payne, the Clear Lake senior. Payne jump serves from the near side, sends a knuckleball back row, and it goes out of bounds again. Boy, Clear Lake has given Algona some freebies so far in this first set, and it's 11-9 Bulldogs. Alsbecker back into the Bulldog lineup here as Van Tiger will take a seat on the bench. Alsbecker will set herself up right behind Dodds on that Clear Lake line logo at midcourt. Serve sent over by Van Otterloo for Algona. Clear Lake has the ball stuck in the back row, and the free ball sent back by Landau. Here's Van Otterloo setting the middle. Here's a swing by Dodds, and Dodds able to drill that one home for a Bulldog point. Aspen Hill got caught flat-footed in the Clear Lake back row, and the Dodds kill makes it 12-9 as Clear Lake will ask for a timeout. We'll take the timeout as well. It's Algona 12, Clear Lake 9. Set 1 action here from Clear Lake High School at Hometown Radio, KLGA.
More Sports Club members.
Kimco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Soy City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy service.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill for wicked good food, drinks, and service. You gotta go to Reeves.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Algona Pizza Ranch, there's so much to love.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Hey Bulldog fans, this is Reagan Haynes and you're listening to Algona Volleyball on KLGA.
Set 1 from Clear Lake High School, Algona 12, Clear Lake 9, as Taylor Van Otterloo will resume serving coming out of the Clear Lake timeout. Bulldogs looking to open this up a little bit after tying their largest lead so far tonight. Payne is set in the middle. The attack is blocked back by the Bulldogs as Tweeden had that one stuffed. And the great defense in the middle for Algona continues. 13-9 Bulldogs. Taylor Van Otterloo will reload the chamber here. She'll walk up and she'll slap that serve into the back row. Hill makes first contact for Clear Lake. Payne looking for Johnson. Johnson right hands it over the net. Haynes digs for Algona. Van Otterloo gets it right back to Haynes on the left side. Haynes guides that ball over the net and gets it through the back row. 14-9 Bulldogs. Finally, a little separation here in the first set. We were sticking right around that 1-2 3-point margin on both sides, but Algona opening it up to a 5-point lead now as Van Otterloo will misfire on that serve. Came in too low there and goes into the net, and it's 14-10. Line deficit right now at 4 points. As Landau will wait for everyone to get in position on her side before serving. Gets the ready to go from the officials as Landau Right hands that ball over the net, and it is too long and out of bounds. 15-10 in favor of Algona. Bulldogs have played pretty well on the serve receive so far tonight, but Clear Lake has also given them a bunch of freebies on some serves going out of play. Haynes with a great serve that just got over the net. Clear Lake tips it around. It's floated over by Johnson. Nice diving dig by Haynes on the Bulldog side. The set for Limbaugh. Limbaugh's attack doesn't go down as Clear Lake tips it at the net. Hegvet gets the ball outside to Johnson. Sends it down the line to Knapp on the Bulldog side. Van Otterloo setting for Limbaugh. Limbaugh, big hammer. What a dig in the back row. Oh, but a ceiling ball. It'll drop on the Clear Lake side. Landau did a great job turning her body at about a 45-degree angle to the side, making contact with that Limbaugh swing, but that came in with such velocity. That ball shoots up into the high ceiling and shoots right back down on the Clear Lake side. A little trouble for the serve there for the Lions. They get a big attack by Johnson, but it doesn't go down as the Bulldogs bat it around the back row and return the free ball to Clear Lake. Payne sets in the middle. Tweeden guides it over. Nice play by Van Otterloo on the first touch. Limbaugh hammers again and puts it down. Of course, Limbaugh gets the kill there, but what a defensive point that was for Algona. Staving off a couple of well-placed balls over the net by Clear Lake, and it's 17-10 Bulldogs, playing well in set one. Haynes from the right side whistles the serve over. Payne near the net, and she went underneath the net on that set. That pass up front by Landau was very close to the net, and Payne couldn't keep that foot from crossing the plane as it's 18-10 Bulldogs, starting to wrap their arms around this first set and take control. Haynes right-hands it into the corner. Johnson slaps it up in the air for Clear Lake. Now Hegvet got the ball to drop over on the Bulldog side. Hegvet on that second touch sent the ball straight up in the air. Everyone on the Bulldog front row, including Dodds, did not think that ball was going over the net. They all backed out, and then all of a sudden, it just dropped over on the Bulldog side, and everyone got caught looking at the ball as Clear Lake will get the point out of that. Hegvet tips the serve over the net. Van Otterloo gets it to Limbaugh. Limbaugh, right-handed swing, and she puts it down. Boy, great job by Taylor Van Otterloo, the setter. That's a pass that's, once again, very close to the net, so Van Otterloo had to walk the tight road there, make sure she didn't get a net violation or go underneath the net. Still got a good ball to Limbaugh, and the 6-foot freshman able to punish that for Algona to make it 19-11. Lions attack for the middle, and they will answer for a point for Emerson McGrath. Not a ton of offense working yet so far for Clear Lake tonight, but their best attacks tonight have all come from the middle as it's 19-12 Bulldogs. Clear Lake goes side out and gets the serve back. Bedford, end over end serve, received in the middle by Haynes, popped up in the air by Elsbecker, and a misfire on the attack by Dunning for Algona as the ball will go into the net, and it's 19-13. Bulldog lead at 6 right now over Clear Lake. Algona with the 36-10 advantage in this series against Clear Lake, dating back to the 2007 season. That included a 3-1 win last year as Limbaugh receives the serve. Elsbecker back to Limbaugh, partially blocked at the net by Clear Lake. Hegvet bump sets for Johnson. Johnson whistles the ball into the back row for the Bulldogs. Now here's an attack by Limbaugh, and she leaves her handprints all over that ball. 20-13 as the freshman has another kill. Bulldogs are doing a great job of locating Limbaugh on the outside, giving her some very hittable balls so far, and Limbaugh has not missed them. Limbaugh so far this season, #1 in the North Central Conference, 113 kills coming into tonight, and easily the Bulldog leader so far on this evening. Van Tiger gets the serve over the net. Clear Lake attacks with Johnson on the outside, and Johnson misfires into the net. 21-13 Algona. Limbaugh is also #2 right now in Class 3A, 4.5 kills per set. Or 11 kill attempts per set, also second in 3A, as a timeout is called here on the floor, with a 21-13 score in favor of the Bulldogs. While this timeout's going on, we'll give a big thank you to our video streaming sponsors, always presenting our Algona Radio YouTube channel throughout this fall sports season. That includes Chem Auto Center, PMC Advantage Insurance Services, Algona Municipal Utilities, Iowa State Bank, Electronic Specialties, and Algona Frame and Auto Body. Again, 21-13 your score here on this Greg Penning Company scoreboard, as the Bulldogs have pulled away and taken control in the first set. A lot of times, set #1, it's a feeling out period between the two teams. You're looking at the strengths, weaknesses, where can we attack the opposing defense, where are some soft spots on the court. And we saw the points really being traded back and forth early on here, but Bulldogs were able to stretch that lead, I believe up to 8 or 9. I think it was as high as 9 at one point, 19-10. Right now at 21-13. As the momentum has stayed on the Bulldog side of this run. Van Tiger jump serves, it tips over the net. Clear Lake a little trouble, but they got the ball to Johnson. Johnson down the line, what a dig by Knapp, but that ball will not be sent over by the Bulldogs. Knapp made a great dig along the far side of the court, but after that first touch, the ball was into the net. Dunning couldn't fish it out, and it's 21-14. Bulldogs by a touchdown here over Clear Lake. And Aspen Hill will be called upon to serve for the Lions. Hill serving left to right on the radio dial. Got it over the net. Van Tiger digs to the Bulldog back row. Van Otterloo set for Dunning. Guides the ball over to Johnson on the Clear Lake side. Payne back to Johnson. Slaps it over for the right hand. Here's Van Otterloo setting for Limbaugh. Limbaugh drills it into the back row and gets another kill. That was not one of the highest velocity hits by Limbaugh, but Hill in the back row started fading backwards when she saw number 8 getting ready to take a swing for Algona, and was not able to make a play from her heels there as the Bulldogs lead 22-14. Here's the Limbaugh serve, got it over the net. Nice dig by Hegvet for Clear Lake, and tipped over by McGrath. Pinballed around by the Bulldogs. Van Otterloo sets middle for Dunning. Dunning looking for the back corner. Was that ball tipped? Yes, it was. The ball landed out of bounds, but one of the Clear Lake front row players touched that ball as it was going over the net. So that is a Bella Jo Dunning kill, and it's 23-14 Bulldogs in this first set. Limbaugh for the serve. Hegvet receives it for Clear Lake. Payne shoots it over on second contact. Bulldogs ready for it. Here's Limbaugh flying in from the back row, but sends it out of bounds, aiming for that far corner on the Clear Lake side. And it's 23-15. Lions will at least get the serve back here in the first set. Ebling for Clear Lake. Line sophomore will have a service error as she did not get that ball over the net. And it's set point now for the Bulldogs at 24-15. And Dunning will be serving. Dunning to try to finish set one as the Bulldogs have done it in commanding fashion, pulling away here in the latter part of the first set. Low serve by Dunning. Johnson digs for Clear Lake. Payne bump sets, looking for Landau, sends it over the net. Dunning for Algona finds Van Otterloo. Limbaugh trying to finish it, and she will do just that. Clear Lake cannot return that ball from Kate Limbaugh, and the Bulldogs take set one, 25-15. We will break right now. Set number 2 coming up next from Clear Lake, and on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bacon at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
American Glass for all your glass needs. Think American.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona tree service.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch and Daniel Foth.
Ed Service Station, service you can trust.
Glenn's Green Thumb, from a small seed, something beautiful will grow.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
Sports club members bringing you this game.
Hey Bulldog fans, this is Macy Knapp and you're listening to Algona Volleyball on KLGA.
Set number 1 goes to the Algona Bulldogs as they defeat Clear Lake 25-15 in this first set from Clear Lake High School. And now set number 2 action is coming up next. Boy, some impressive attacks by the Bulldogs so far, but what I'm more impressed about is the defense they're playing. Clear Lake, they're sending everything over the net that they can. A lot of junk balls, a lot of directional attacks, but the Bulldogs, they've been ready so far defensively. We've not seen a lot of volleyballs hitting the hardwood on the Bulldogs side in that first set. And Clear Lake, they also need to keep that serve in play as well. A little bit of trouble there of service errors in the first set, giving the Bulldogs, I'd say probably 5 or 6 points there on service errors. So a lot to like for Algona up to this point. Doing a good job of getting Kate Limbaugh involved early and often again. As you mentioned, Limbaugh, 25 of the 42 kills on Tuesday against Storm Lake. She also had 8 out of the 11 aces that night against Storm Lake as well, and has already had a huge impact early on in this ball game. But Bulldog lineup, like we said, playing without the 5'11 junior Hayden McLaughlin tonight in the middle, but Bulldogs are going for the next man up type of mentality. McKenna Elsbecker getting some good moments on the court for Algona, and we will be just about ready to get going here of set 2 as both teams are going to return to the volleyball hardwood. It'll be Clear Lake to serve to start things off. Lions are down to our left. Bulldogs in those red uniforms down to our right here on this Thursday night of North Central Conference Volleyball. Both teams came into this one-on-one conference play, and identical opponents as well. Both teams losing to Humboldt earlier in the season. Both teams defeating Webster City earlier in the season. course, in the latest high school volleyball polls for the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, Humboldt all the way up to number 3. And I know Bulldog fans and Lion fans are tired of hearing about Humboldt for sure, but it's been an impressive start to the season for the Wildcats. It has been a long time since the NCC team was ranked that highly in the Girls Union rankings. We'll see if one of these teams can get into that ranking system, the top 15 at some point later on this season, as Bulldogs are 8-2, Lions are 7-2. Starting off the set, it'll be Payne to serve for Clear Lake. Left to right as we are underway. Van Otterloo try to keep that ball out of the net, and the Bulldogs will not be able to return it within their 3 touches. Lions will go up 1-0 to start off set number 2. That was just one of those plays where that first pass for Algona got Van Otterloo way too close to the net, and Van Otterloo really couldn't do anything with that ball as Payne approaches and jump serves over. Knuckleball serve, dug by Knapp. Van Otterloo sets it high in the air for Limbaugh from the left side, and Limbaugh drills it down. We are tied at 1 in set number 2 as Limbaugh gets that early left side attack for the Bulldogs. And they'll get the ball in the hands of their senior libero, the only senior on the Bulldogs, Macy Knapp. Knapp with the jump serve, rockets it into the back row. Popped with the air by Hegvet for Clear Lake. Here's an attack in the middle. Doesn't go down for Tweeten as the Bulldogs fend it off. And Limbaugh slaps the ball over for the right hand. Now Payne setting for Clear Lake, looking for Johnson, left side. Johnson, big swing, can't put it down. Bulldogs overpass. Johnson tries again. Bulldogs keep the ball alive, and they cannot get it over within 3 touches. Boy, great job initially for Algona keeping that ball alive as Johnson, Alo Johnson that is, had a huge attack from the left side. But that overpass ball allowed Johnson to get a second swing on that. And again, the Bulldogs nearly were able to return that ball, but gave Johnson 2 chances from that spot. She's probably going to put at least one of them down. 2-1 Lions. Serve will go to Knapp along the far side for the Bulldogs. Elsbecker pops it up in the air looking for Dunning, and Dunning misfires in the attack. Ball's into the net, and Clear Lake takes the 3-1 lead in set number 2. Good crowd here from Clear Lake tonight. The Lions fans sitting right down beneath us, pretty packed on their side. Big student section tonight. Good amount of Bulldog fans making the trip across Highway 18 for this one. Haynes digs in the Bulldog back row. Ball's popped up in the air to Knapp. Free ball over to the Clear Lake side. Hegvet up front to Payne. Payne shorts it in the middle. Tipped over the net. And it is just out of bounds. Tweeten just missed along the near side. That official in the corner was all over it as the Clear Lake side started to celebrate thinking they got the point there, but just a bit off target, and it's 3-2 in favor of the Lions in set number 2. Bulldogs will call upon Gabby Van Tiger to serve right now. Van Tiger sends a pretty hard serve into the back row. Misplayed by Johnson, and Lions won't be able to return this one. Johnson played that one overhanded. It deflected backwards off her hand, and no one in the line back row is going to be able to get to that ball as we are tied at 3 apiece after that Van Tiger serve. Van Tiger lower serve this time, and a little too low. That one's going to hit the tape and stay on the Bulldog side as Lions pick up a point on the service error. 4-3 Clear Lake. And there libero wearing that black sleeveless jersey. Hegvet over to our left. Hegvet sends a twisting serve. It just tips over the net. Good dig by Haynes for Algona. Van Otterloo sets for Limbaugh. Can't put it down, though. Lions have Hegvet bump setting for Johnson. Ball's high in the air. Johnson right hands it over. Right to Limbaugh for Algona. In the middle, pushed across by Dunning. Looking for the back corner. Popped up in the air by Landau for Clear Lake. They'll find Johnson again. Johnson swings. What a diving dig by Knapp. But the ball will land out of bounds. Athletic play in the Bulldog back row by Macy Knapp. Almost kept that one in to keep the point alive, but lands out of bounds along the far side boundary, and it's 5-3 Clear Lake. Hegvet, low serve into the net, and it's 5-4 now. But I'll tell you this, even on the points that Clear Lake is getting, Bulldogs are still playing some very athletic back row defense so far. We've seen Knapp sprawling over the floor. Good thing they've got the long jersey sleeves because she would have some serious floor burns if not. Here's a big swing from the middle by McGrath. And Emerson McGrath puts it down for Clear Lake. Lions maintaining the early lead in the second set, 6-4. But again, that's one of the few hits that Clear Lake's been able to put down on the Algona side. A lot of the Clear Lake points so far tonight have either been attack errors by Algona or just plays where the Bulldogs made an athletic play to dig it, but ball just lands out of bounds. As ball's overpassed into the net, Bulldogs are able to shoot it back across to Dunning. Able to rescue that point. Tipped over by McGrath. Diving in the back row, saving it is Van Tiger for Algona. Limbaugh right hands it over the net. Hegvet gets it up front to Payne, looking for Johnson on the outside. Johnson got blocked by Dunning that time. Boy, did she time that one perfectly. And it's 6-5. Again, excellent defense being continued here by Algona. And after that block, Dunning will serve. Dodds back to the ball game for Algona as well. Dunning with the jump serve, sends a rocket towards the corner. Popped up in the air by Landau for Clear Lake. Johnson tries to send this one over. Bulldogs somehow kept that between the posts, and it drops in. Gabby Van Tiger, that close fist, swung over her shoulder to get that ball back to the Clear Lake side. It barely stayed it between the uprights, but Clear Lake is unable to return the ball, and we are tied at 6. As we're going to have a pause in the action here. The Clear Lake coaches were in discussion with the officials there, maybe not agreeing that the ball went in between the posts. Well, I thought I saw they had brought the yellow card out. That official along the far side, you could maybe see it. It's pretty far away here in the video stream, but he was holding up a yellow card there, and that is a card warning the coaches or players. And I'm not sure the official was enjoying the conversation there about as to whether that ball was in between the uprights. So that was a warning issued after that point. And we will resume here if Algona serving a 6-6 tie now. Dunning sends it into the back row. Hegvet gets to the front of Payne, a set in the middle from McGrath. McGrath had that ball blocked, but it flutters out of bounds, and the Bulldogs will not be able to return this ball over. So it goes out of bounds after the Algona touch, and it's 7-6. There was a little change up there by McGrath. Looked like she was going to take a big swing on that one, and then kind of paused the arm about partway through there before re-accelerating and getting the Bulldog front row defenders to jump a little bit early. Hill serves back row. Limbaugh pushes it up front to Van Otterloo, looking outside to Haynes. Ball tipped to the net by Clear Lake. They'll overpass it. Dons tries to send it back over. Kept alive by Clear Lake. McGrath hammers. Can't put it down, though. Snap digs for Algona. Limbaugh from deep and almost put it down. What a dig by Johnson for Clear Lake. And a free ball sent over by Hegvet. Haynes gets it up front to Van Otterloo. Right back to Haynes. Flying in for the attack, and she'll put it down. We are tied at 7 here in the second set. Boy, great defense by both teams on that point. The diving save by Ayla Johnson for Clear Lake kept the point alive for the Lions, but then the Bulldogs return the favor of excellent defense on their end as well, ending it for Reagan Haynes' kill. As Van Otterloo now is in to serve. Van Otterloo twists the serve over the net. Ball's overpassed, sent back over by Haynes, but played in the back row by Hill for Clear Lake. On the outside, Landau can't put this one down as the Bulldogs tip at the net. Van Otterloo looking for Haynes on the set. Haynes is able to stick that one on the Clear Lake side. Back-to-back kills by Reagan Haynes. The big right-handed swing right there for the junior. And it's 8-7 Bulldogs. They have inched ahead here in the second set after taking set 1, 25-15. Taylor Van Otterloo serves right to left. Received by Aspen Hill. A bump set for Payne. Looking for Landau. Tipped it off the Bulldog block attempt. Popped up in the air by Haynes. Van Otterloo into the back row to Limbaugh. Limbaugh will not be able to get this one over the net. She'll come up just a bit short there, and we are tied at 8 in set number 2. Well, this was close to the point in set 1 where the Bulldogs really started establishing themselves. We were very close there in the first set for about 9-10 points on both sides, and then the Bulldogs went on a run as a beautiful serve by McGrath is guided in front of Limbaugh. Just kept that one inside the boundary on the near side, and Clear Lake picks up an ace to go up 9-8. McGrath sets herself up in the middle of the court, takes 2 steps forward and serves into the Bulldog back row. Limbaugh hits it up in the air to Van Otterloo, right back to Limbaugh, attacks from deep, dug in the back row by Johnson. Her pass to Payne is popped over the net, diving dig by Limbaugh on the Bulldog side. Now Haynes swings, Haynes puts this one down. Aspen Hill had the first touch there for Clear Lake, but sent the ball into the net, and nobody could fish it out from the Lions. We are tied at 9 as Reagan Haynes having some good moments here in set number 2. Haynes is now over to serve for Algona down to our right. Low serve goes into the net, and the Lions get one back here to go up 10-9. Back and forth we go here in set 2. Olivia Payne, part of the senior-laden Clear Lake team. More than half their roster, senior class, is passed up front by Knapp, looking for Van Otterloo. Elsbecker attacks, but got it stuffed right back at her. The 5'9" Tweeten had the block that time, and it's 11-9 Clear Lake. That's the thing we mentioned again. Really great length for the Lions. A lot of 5'11" players. See some 5'10" out there. Johnson 6'1", as the serve is a little bit too deep. Out beyond the baseline, another service error for Clear Lake. And the Bulldogs get the serve back, trailing 11-10. Macy Knapp will angle herself to the near side of the court. She approaches and line drives a serve over the net. Hill gets it up front to Payne. A short set for McGrath. Floats the ball over to Van Otterloo on the Bulldog side. A bump set by Knapp. An attack by Limbaugh. Got a block right back to her. Popped up in the air and set over by Dunning. But the Bulldogs will call for a lift. And we are tied at, or check that, Clear Lake goes up 12-10 after that point. As Lions maintain a slim edge here over the Bulldogs in set 2. Trying to avoid a 2-0 deficit at home. Landau from the far side of the court sends it into the back row to Haynes. Got it up front to Elsbecker. In the air to Limbaugh, but that attack will go into the net. Timing of all that just a little bit off on the Bulldog side. That ball got quickly on top of Elsbecker and then didn't get a whole lot of air on that one to Limbaugh. And it's 13-10 Clear Lake as the timeout is called on the floor. So with the timeout called, we'll take it as well. Clear Lake 13, Algona 10. Set number 2 here at Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
Hey Bulldog fans, this is Hayden McLaughlin, and you're listening to Algona Volleyball on KLGA.
Algona trying to get organized coming out of the timeout. They trail Clear Lake 13-10 in set 2. The Bulldogs did win set 1, 25-15, leading 1-0 on the road. Landau to serve for Clear Lake, left to right on the radio dials. Knapp makes first contact in the corner for the Bulldogs. A set in the middle to Limbaugh, who pushes it across. Hegvet pops it up in the air, punched across by Landau for Clear Lake. Now Van Otterloo for Algona, setting for Limbaugh, but a Bulldog point's going to be called. I think we had a back row attack there against Clear Lake maybe, and it's 13-11. Bulldogs rotate in with Gabby Van Tiger coming in for McKenna Elsbecker. Van Tiger did pick up an ace earlier tonight for Algona. Not a ton of aces so far for the Bulldogs, but they've been playing excellent defense against Clear Lake. Serve goes into the back row, sent straight up in the air by Hegvet. Landau gets it up front to Johnson. Johnson right hands it over. Ball slightly overpassed, but Van Otterloo tips it over and drops it in. Van Otterloo saw that ball was going to be overpassed. Wasn't going to be able to set anything there, so tipped it over on second contact for Algona and placed it perfectly in the Clear Lake defense. Back-to-back points for Algona coming out of the timeout, and it's 13-12. We've seen this a few times so far this season. The Bulldogs usually receive the message by Coach Berkey and get things going coming out of timeouts. Serve goes back row, ball's overpassed by Clear Lake. Payne tried to tip it over, but cannot clear it over the net. Payne tried to do the same thing Van Otterloo just did, but we are now tied at 13 as that ball never got over for Clear Lake. Now 3 consecutive points out of the timeout. Van Tiger sends it right to left. Serve just trickles over the tape. Ball's overpassed by Clear Lake, and Dunning softly sits that one over the net with the right hand, and it's 14-13 Algona. And now it's Clear Lake's turn to take a timeout here if the Bulldogs going up by 1. Dunning could have gone for an absolute kill shot there if she wanted to, but saw there was a easy target to put that one down. What if a soft right-handed swing that time on the overpassed ball, and the Bulldogs scoring 4 straight points. Coach Heather Johnson for Clear Lake sensing momentum, getting away quickly here in the second set, trying to rally the troops. Coach Johnson absolutely animated on the Clear Lake sideline, but not just in this timeout, during the normal flow of action as well, as she's been going up and down the bench, high-fiving all the players after points, joining in on the celebrations for Clear Lake, and now animatedly trying to rally your team here after 4 consecutive points were reeled off by the Bulldogs. Van Tiger will try to keep the momentum on the Algona side, coming out of the timeout. Both teams having spent 1 timeout so far in the second set. Van Tiger sends a serve to the far side of the court. Payne sets for Clear Lake on the backside for Johnson, tipped over, but popped over the air by Dunning on the Bulldog side. Right-handed over by Haynes into the back row. Hegvet, a lunging play, and the ball flutters over the net, and Dunning's going to flush it back down for Algona. Another ball for Clear Lake on that first touch, just being sent too close to Bulldog territory, and Dunning has taken advantage on a couple of points here in this 5-0 run, and it's 15-13 Bulldogs. Van Tiger serves back row to Hegvet, sends it straight up into the air. Payne has to come way out to get it, tries to get it to Johnson. Johnson can't do anything of that ball, and it's 16-13 Bulldogs. Clear Lake not doing a very good job of giving Payne a settable ball. That passing game off the Bulldogs serves has to improve for the Lions if they don't want the Bulldogs to pull away here in the second set like they did in the first. Twisting serve, ball sent near the net again. Limbaugh tries to tip this over. Payne saves it for Clear Lake, and now Johnson sends it down the line. Haynes up front to Dunning, sets for Limbaugh. Limbaugh tried to punish that ball. Bulldogs sneak the ball over the net. What a play by Van Otterloo, and some English on that one as the Lions now return it back to the Bulldogs. Here's Limbaugh from the left side. Limbaugh drills it, can't put it down though. Ball flutters underneath the net though, and the Bulldogs get a point. Another initial play in the back row by Landau, but nobody home in that Clear Lake front row after that Limbaugh attack, and it's 17-13. Boy, earlier in that point, how about Van Otterloo sending an awkward-looking ball, but spun it perfectly over the net to keep that point alive for Algona. Here's Ayla Johnson on the right side, wipes it off the Bulldog block, and the 7-0 run will come to an end. Bulldogs scored 7 straight coming out of that timeout, but the Lions finally get one back, and it's 17-14 Algona. This is about the point in the set where it's still reachable if you're Clear Lake, but once you start getting to that 20-point mark if you're the Bulldogs with a lead, it's hard to come back if you're Clear Lake. As there's an ace serve delivered right on that baseline. Using every last inch of the court was Hegvet, as her ace makes it 17-15. Lions answer with back-to-back points. Hegvet, end-over-end serve, Knapp. Good pass to Van Otterloo. Here comes Dunning. Dunning drills it off the block. Clear Lake pinballs it around, but they cannot return the ball. Boy, Bella Joe Dunning coming alive here in set 2, and it's 18-15 Bulldogs. In set 1, it was really the back row defense of Algona that was standing out. Here in set 2, it's been the front row defense for Algona that's been excellent, as Limbaugh sends the serve far side of the court. Initial contact made by Payne. Johnson to Johnson. It is Aria Johnson drilling, but she can't put it down as Limbaugh sends it back over, and it spins off the block attempt of McGrath and settles on the Clear Lake side. Limbaugh gets the Bulldog point, 19-15 Algona. Limbaugh sends it over. The freshman's serve is overpassed by Clear Lake, but this one is going to stick on the Bulldog side. Looked like a mistimed jump there on the Algona blocker's part, and it's 19-16 as the Lions are down by 3. Taylor Bedford in now to serve as Ayla Johnson, the Lions senior, will head to the Pine. Clear Lake, a pretty deep rotation that they use as the serve goes over the net. Knapp gets that up to Van Otterloo, sets for Dunning. Can't put it down as Bedford digs in the line back row and pushed across by Aria Johnson, and Johnson found the corner. Great vision that time for the Clear Lake sophomore. She's up front on the left side, looked all the way across the way to the opposite side, that near side corner on the Bulldog defense, and it's 19-17 now. Clear Lake still fighting here in this second set after that big 7-0 run by the Bulldogs. Bedford end-over-end serve, Knapp right there for Algona. Van Otterloo's going to slap that over a second contact and put it down. Big point for Taylor Van Otterloo, and it's 20-17 Algona. Knapp out, Dogs in, and Dunning back to serve for the Bulldogs. 5 points away here in the second set. Dunning jump serves, far side of the court. Almost overpassed again by Clear Lake as Payne was able to force that ball over on second contact. Here's a set for Haynes. Haynes punches it across. Johnson digs for Clear Lake. Payne shoots it over on second contact. Diving save by Van Tiger for Algona, and the free ball back across by Dunning. Landau up front to Payne, short set for McGrath. Oh, and she mistimed the jump as the ball is over her head. 21-17 Algona. McGrath had visions of a huge right-handed swing at her head, but the timing of the set and the attack just off there as the ball goes over McGrath's head. 21-17 Bulldogs. Here's Payne setting for McGrath. She's not going to miss that one. She'll put that down. McGrath given a second opportunity, and she fires that one for the Bulldog defense. 3-point margin in set 2. 21-18 Bulldogs. Clear Lake needs a run, and they need it now. Aspen Hill is down to her left to serve for the Lions. Algona trying to go up 2-0 on the road after taking the first set 25-15. Hill sends it into the back row. Limbaugh receives, gets it up front to Van Otterloo. Dodds right-hands it over the net. That ball is almost over her head. Pushed over on second contact by Payne for Clear Lake. Now Limbaugh from deep, right-handed swing. Limbaugh puts it down as Johnson had the diving attempt in the back row for Clear Lake, and it's 22-18 Bulldogs. Elsbecker in. Van Tiger to the bench on the Algona side. Here's Van Otterloo. Hegvet receives her Clear Lake on the serve. Punched over by McGrath, and McGrath is going to finish off that point for the Lions. Good short set in the middle by Payne and McGrath. Getting the last 2 line kills to make it 22-19. Like I mentioned earlier, Lions haven't gotten a whole lot going on the outside so far tonight, but McGrath and Tweeten in the middle have gotten some good things going, and McGrath got a little overzealous there. She served before the officials gave the ready for play. So we're going to replay that. A 22-19 score right now. But you come into this match, you're looking at the Johnson sisters for Clear Lake. The senior Ayla Johnson's played a ton of volleyball over the years. Younger sister Aria Johnson, who's number 2 in the NCC in kill efficiency at 291. But Bulldogs have kept those two pretty quiet so far tonight. As McGrath's serve will hit the tape and deflect on the Clear Lake side. An ill-timed service error for the Lions, and it's 23-19 Bulldogs. Haynes will try to finish it off in set 2 with a couple of points. Haynes serves, and it's going to be an ace. Miscommunication in the Clear Lake back row as Hegvet, the libero, and Hill collided, and it's 24-19 Algona. The Bulldogs have set point, and Clear Lake is going to ask for a timeout. We'll take a quick timeout as well. Back after this on KLGA 92.7.
More Sports Club members.
Kimco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Soy City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy service.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill for wicked good food, drinks, and service. You gotta go to Reeves.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Algona Pizza Ranch, there's so much to love.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
Algona trying to take a 2-0 lead from Clear Lake High School. Bulldogs up 24-19 in set 2. The Bulldogs student section may be smaller than Clear Lake's here tonight, obviously being on the road, but they've made about twice as much noise during this last timeout as the Bulldogs are feeling a 2-0 lead. Haynes sends it over. Johnson gets it up front to Payne. Looking on the backside. Right-handed swing by Tweeten doesn't go down. Van Otterloo bumps it up to Elsbecker. Elsbecker got it over. Clear Lake scrambling, but they're able to get the free ball back to the Bulldog side. Haynes up front to Van Otterloo. Here comes Limbaugh. Limbaugh finishes off the set. A perfect set by Taylor Van Otterloo, and Limbaugh's not going to miss on that one. 25-19 Algona. They take a commanding 2-0 lead on the road. Back of set number 3 after this on Hometown Radio KLGA and at the Algona Radio YouTube channel.
Thank you to those sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
AK's Chrome Kitchen, when you come in, your family.
Algona Freeman Auto Body, we meet by accident.
Algona Livestock Sales every Monday.
Weichert Realty, the 515 agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Cotton Grave Farm Management and Land Realty, trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
All sponsors of this game's broadcast.
More Sports Club members.
Kimco Tires, they're all you need to know about tires and service.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Soy City, and the surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy service.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill for wicked good food, drinks, and service. You gotta go to Reeves.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Algona Pizza Ranch, there's so much to love.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Sports Club members bringing you this game.
You ever get that feeling that, like, something's missing? I just can't put my finger on it. Is there some sort of parade? No. It couldn't be. Did I just hear people cheering? Bingo night must be getting rowdy tonight. Wait a second. That's high school football on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Join us this week as Algona faces Waverly Shell Rock on KLGA and Bishop Garrigan faces St. Edmund on KLGZ.
Hey Bulldog fans, this is Charlie Dodds and you're listening to Algona Volleyball on KLGA.
We welcome you back to Clear Lake High School, where the Algona Bulldogs have a 2-0 lead. It was Algona winning 25-15 in the first set and 25-19 in the second set here tonight, as they'll try to finish off their second NCC win of the season in 3 against the Lions. Bulldogs last year defeated the Lions 3-1. They did take the first 2 sets last year, 25-22 and 25-18, before the Lions won the third, 30-28. But Bulldogs won the final set last year, 25-18, to knock off Clear Lake in 4. So we're trying to finish it off in 3 tonight. You're always wanting to see in that third set a team's down 2-0. You know it's a big mountain to climb, trying to win 3 sets in a row. But, of course, you can't fall asleep if you're the Bulldogs. Bulldogs had the 2-0 lead against Storm Lake on Tuesday night. The Tornadoes got back into it, tied it at 2 before the Bulldogs prevailed in the 5th set. So Algona certainly learning a lesson that night about trying to finish a team when you've got them down 2-0. And we'll see if that applies here tonight as they take on Clear Lake. Before we start off this third set, big thank you to our video streaming sponsors on the Algona Radio YouTube channel presenting this broadcast, including Chemna Auto Center, PMC Advantage Insurance Services, Algona Municipal Utilities, Iowa State Bank, Electronic Specialties, and Algona Frame and Auto Body. One of 3 NCC matches going on tonight. St. Edmunds facing Clarion Goldfield Dows, and Humboldt visiting Iowa Falls Alden in tonight's North Central Conference action alongside this match. Taylor Van Otterloo will start things off. She'll serve into the net, and Clear Lake goes up 1-0 to start off set number 3. Both set number 1 and set number 2 followed a similar flow. Teams are pretty even through about that 10-ish point mark, give or take, and then both times in the middle of the set, Bulldogs went on a pretty big run in the middle to take control. In fact, in set 2 was a 7-0 run by Algona when they were down 13-10 that flipped that set around. Service sent over left to right by Landau. Bulldogs will set it for Elsbecker, who punches it over the net. Johnson makes the first touch for Clear Lake. Lions will pinball it around, and they cannot return the ball over the net. We will tie things up at 1 apiece. Bulldogs and Lions here in set 3. Haynes will serve. Angled over to our right. Haynes sends a line drive rocket into the back row. Hagvet gets it up to Payne. Here's Johnson flying in for the attack. Blocked back by Dodds and Elsbecker for the Bulldogs. Kept alive by Clear Lake. Now Ayla Johnson floats it over the top. Here's Van Otterloo setting for Limbaugh. Limbaugh hammers. Blocked back right at her by Clear Lake. Bulldogs keep it alive. They get it into the back row to Knapp. Free ball to Lions. Hagvet in front to Payne. Looking on the backside to Ayla Johnson. She'll hammer and she'll put it down off the hands of Van Otterloo near that Bulldog back row. And it's 2-1 Lions. That was probably the most cohesive point the Lions have had on offense tonight. Got some really good attacks off on the Bulldogs. Good right side attack there by Ayla Johnson, and the kill to make it 2-1. But the passes were in the right place, the sets were in the right place, and they ultimately break the Bulldog defense on that one. Limbaugh trying to break down the Lion defense this time, and she'll hammer it off the block attempt to tie this up at 2. Limbaugh has picked up right where she left off on Tuesday night, folks. And probably what she'll be doing for most of the season as the Bulldogs continue to feed her plenty of opportunities in the front row. Macy Knapp is a couple of steps towards the near side of the court, setting up near the corner for this jump service. She'll rocket it towards the near side of the court. Hagvet in front to Johnson. Johnson setting for Johnson, hits it down the line, and the Bulldogs can't return this one. Aria Johnson is able to deliver the kill in front of Macy Knapp on the Bulldog side and bring the Clear Lake lead to 3-2. And it'll be Taylor Bedford to serve. 8 seniors on this Lion roster. Bedford one of them, as Bedford misfires on the serve. This one goes into the net, and we are tied up at 3 apiece. Well, it's a big student section tonight for Clear Lake. They are packing it in down to our left, but they've been waiting for something to cheer about tonight. The Bulldog contingent that's made the trip has been rocking and rolling so far in tonight's match. Gabby Van Tiger floats a knuckleball over the net on the serve. Here's Payne staying out of the net, setting for McGrath, and McGrath is able to knock this one off the Bulldog hands and to get the Clear Lake point, making it 4-3. I've mentioned multiple times throughout this broadcast that Clear Lake didn't have a ton of success on the outside earlier tonight. A lot of their points coming from the middle, especially for the likes of McGrath, their 5'11 senior. And I think Coach Johnson has realized that as well for Clear Lake. We saw towards the end of set 2, and now here to start set 3, Lions are trying to run everything for the middle as there's a floater to the near side of the court. Haynes plays it for Algona, sends it opposite side to Van Otterloo. Hit over by Van Tiger for Algona. Here's Payne setting it up on the outside. She'll look for Landau. Bulldogs tip it for a block attempt. Van Otterloo now setting for Limbaugh. Limbaugh punishes that volleyball and drills it home. We are tied at 4. Taylor Van Otterloo, some good on-target sets. And Kate Limbaugh is finishing off the attacks as per usual. 4-4 tie. Limbaugh now serving a step behind the basketball baseline, approaches and jump serves. Hegvet overpasses the ball. Can the Bulldogs take advantage? Pushed across by Dunning. Johnson up front to Payne for Clear Lake, sets it high in the air for Landau. Landau towards the back row, and Knapp ducks out of the way and lets it go out of bounds. Bulldogs inch in front 9-4. Macy Knapp playing a little game of limbo there for the volleyball, made sure to not contact that one on the way out. Bulldogs by 1. Limbaugh serving right to left. Line drives it off the hands of Hegvet. Clear Lake scrambling behind their baseline, and Johnson will have to play the free ball to the Bulldogs side, but that one is going to float out of bounds. Johnson puts her hands on her head as she couldn't keep that one in play, and it's a 2-point lead in set 3 for Algona, 6-4. Limbaugh serves low. Hegvet had to go down to the knees to dig that one. Payne out of bounds. Will get it in the middle to Hill. Hill guides the free ball over the net. Now Van Otterloo sets on the backside. Here's Dunning curling around and punching it towards the corner. Hill up front to Payne. Sets it high in the air for Landau. Landau hits it into the net, and it'll be a Bulldog point, 7-4. So Bulldogs reel off, I believe this is now 4 points in a row. Limbaugh for the jump serve. Hits it right at Hegvet. That ball will guide Payne out of bounds. Got it middle to McGrath. Hits it over. Van Tiger there for Algona. Now Van Otterloo sitting for Haynes. Haynes tried to attack there, but Clear Lake tipped it on the block attempt. Landau hits it the other way, and Landau found that near side corner. That'll break up that brief Bulldog run and make it 7-5 as the Lions find themselves down by 2 in this third set. And Emerson McGrath now back to serve. Both of these teams headed to the same destination this weekend, as they'll both be going to the 4-city tournament. So both these teams not done yet this week, as a pinpoint serve by McGrath will land in that far side corner right on the white paint. That's about where the sideline meets the baseline. McGrath planted that one perfectly over there for our Clear Lake ace. 7-6 on back-to-back points by the Lions. McGrath aims middle of the back row this time. Knapp, beautiful pass to Van Otterloo. Dunning will drill this one down for a Bulldog point. Short set in the middle for Bella Jo Dunning, and she did not miss. Angles it towards the near side corner, and it's 8-6 Bulldogs. Big night so far for Bella Jo Dunning. We mentioned earlier, Bulldogs have been without the services of Hayden McLaughlin tonight. Numerous players have had to step up, but Bella Jo Dunning amongst those players, doing a great job tonight as she will send it over. It's a low serve. Johnson cannot handle it. She'll send it out of bounds on that first touch, and Dunning picks up an ace, 9-6. Served that one a little shorter in front of the back row, and Johnson got the feet caught in quicksand that time. Bulldogs up by 3. Dunning serves. It trickles over the net. Clear Lake pinballs it around, and they're able to push it back across the Bulldog side. Nearly an ace. Set on the backside for Dodds. Dodds hits it over. Johnson plays it for Clear Lake. Landau hits it down the line, and she snuck it in there for a Clear Lake point. 9-7 now. That whole point was made for Clear Lake because they were able to receive a tricky serve by Bella Jo Dunning that barely trickled over the net. Front row players have to be ready for that deflection. They were for the Lions. It kept that point alive to ultimately win it. Olivia Payne, the 5'6" senior, serves near side of the court. Popped in the air by Van Tiger. Finds Van Otterloo and hit over by Haynes for Algona. In the middle, Payne will set for Tweeden. Tweeden guides that ball and kept it inside the far side boundary. 9-8. Here's the Lions sticking around here, trying to be pesky in this third set and prevent the Bulldogs from sweeping them in straight sets tonight. Payne serves into the back row. Van Tiger gets it up front to Van Otterloo. Gets it over to Limbaugh, flying in for a big swing and a big kill. Limbaugh got all the momentum behind her that time for a running approach, and it's 10-8 Bulldogs. These kill numbers are just going to continue to climb throughout the season. Like I mentioned earlier, Limbaugh already number 2 in Class 3A. 4.5 kills per set, her average on the season. Van Otterloo serves. Little congestion there in the Clear Lake back row. We'll get it up front. And Tweeden guides this ball over and gets the Clear Lake point. She saw Reagan Haynes in the middle setting up for a block, and Tweeden was able to guide that one off to the near side where there was some open hardwood for the Lions, and it's 10-9. Bulldog lead at 1 at this point. Service in the hands of Landau, the Clear Lake junior. Heels on the basketball baseline down to our left. Takes 3 steps forward and sends it into the back corner to Knapp. Got it up front to Van Otterloo, middle for Dodds. Dodds right-handed swing. Got Hegvet backpedaling there. Now it's Payne swinging. Payne almost put that one down. The Bulldogs pinball it back over, and the return by Clear Lake drops out of bounds. It's 11-9 Bulldogs. Well, once again, excellent defense by that Bulldog front row. Sometimes you just have to keep that ball alive, get a hand on it, hope something good happens, and that's about what happened there for Algona on that point. Haynes with the serve now towards Johnson. Payne right back to Johnson. Johnson tried to stick it on the Bulldog side. Bulldogs blocked it. Dodds blocks it again, and it's a Bulldog point. Dodds got her hands right there in the middle on a couple of tries for Clear Lake. Blocked Tweeton on that last one, and it's 12-9. Dodds playing good front row defense on that last point, and Clear Lake will ask for a timeout. Bulldogs have inched ahead 12-9. Timeout called here on Hometown Radio, KLGA, and the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
Set 3 from Clear Lake High School. Bulldogs up 2-0 and leading in this third set 12-9. Reagan Haynes is serving right now for Algona. She'll send it over to Hegvet on the Clear Lake side. Payne sets it up for Ayla Johnson, tips it over the top. And right there to dig it is Limbaugh. Here's a set near side for Limbaugh. She stutter steps and still able to almost get the point, but Clear Lake pinballed it around. They dug it out of the net and returned the free ball to the Bulldogs. Limbaugh tries again. This time a huge swing and the kill. 13-9 Algona. Boy, on that first attempt by Limbaugh, the set was maybe either slightly off or the timing was just a bit different than she expected, because she had a little stutter step there, so didn't get a full swing. Clear Lake returned a free ball, but on that next opportunity, everything was perfect, and Limbaugh gets the kill. Johnson will push it over the net, and she will find the hardwood as Ayla Johnson delivers the Clear Lake kill, and it's 13-10. Bulldogs up by 3 in this third set. Clear Lake not letting Algona get away with this one, but Bulldogs maintain a slight lead for most of this third set. Hegvet serves back row to Haynes. Got it in front to Van Otter. Looks backside for Dodds. Dodds looking for the back row, and she found it. Charlie Dodds, using every last inch of the Clear Lake court, puts the ball on the baseline and makes it a 14-10 Bulldog lead. And Dodds will get high fives all along the Bulldog bench as Algona goes side out and gets Macy Knapp to serve now. Knapp sends this one over the net. It ricochets off the hands of Hegvet, and Clear Lake pinballs it over, and Knapp wisely lets it go as the ball will land out of bounds. Knapp was ready to fire there, but smartly pulled the hands back at the last minute, and it's 15-10 Bulldogs. Largest lead of this third set. Knapp sends it back row, and that is an ace. Macy Knapp kept it inside the baseline. 16-10 Algona, and much like the first 2 sets, this is the exact point the Bulldogs took control in those 2. They are pulling away slowly but surely from Clear Lake, now leading by 6. Knapp again, aiming for that same spot. Hegvet has to play it this time. Overpass, but tipped over by Payne. Van Otterloo sets it up near side for Limbaugh. Big swing from the freshman. What a dig by Hegvet for Clear Lake. And Payne will push it back across. Limbaugh blocked it though, and Clear Lake cannot return that ball. Limbaugh stayed on her toes that time. Sometimes as a young player, you take that big swing and can't put it down, you fall asleep there, but Limbaugh was right back into the action, ready to play some front row defense, and it's a 7-point Bulldog advantage. Knapp line drive serve. Johnson at the dig for Clear Lake. Up front to Payne, looking for Johnson right side. Johnson wipes it off the block. Limbaugh was unable to stuff that one, although had the attempt there, and Clear Lake gets the Ayla Johnson kill to make it 17-11. Johnson getting a couple kills here in this third set. Bulldogs have been going after the Johnson sisters on the serve, trying to make it tough for Payne to get the ball back to them for the attacks, as the serve will land out of play from Bedford. Bedford's service error gives the Bulldogs a 7-point lead once again, 18-11. Gabby Van Tiger gets a quick high five from Macy Knapp before stepping into serve. The Bulldog junior arcs this one over the net. Hegvet got turned sideways in the back row and got it to Johnson. Now Johnson up front to Johnson. The swing there by Aria Johnson doesn't go down. Bulldogs will attack from the left side of Limbaugh. Almost decapitated Johnson, but the ball is shot off her hands and right back over the net. Now tipped over by Limbaugh, and Clear Lake won't be able to fish this one out. Limbaugh makes it 19-11 Bulldogs. But boy, that first swing that she took, that ball was a laser beam of 100 miles per hour right at the face of Ayla Johnson. She stuck up her hands in self-defense, and just with that ball going off her hands, it shot all the way to the Bulldogs side, but ultimately the Bulldogs still return the point. Now an attack from the Clear Lake front row lands out of bounds, and it's 20-11 Algona. Lions are forced to call a timeout. Bulldogs have taken command in the third set. It's Algona 20, Clear Lake 11. Back with more from Clear Lake after this on KLGA Hometown Radio.
Some of the most significant power outages in recent years have been caused by extreme cold weather and severe storms. Whether it's snow, ice, or extreme wind, don't be caught in the dark. At Murphy Farm Services, our top-of-the-line Generac or Cummins generators will automatically power your home in the event of a power loss. Already have a standby generator? Call us today to get on our preventative maintenance list to ensure your machine is running at its maximum efficiency. Contact your local certified ag, electrical, and generator sales and service dealer. Murphy Farm Services, delivering the power you need when you need it.
Hey Bulldog fans, this is Macy Knapp and you're listening to Algona Volleyball on KLGA.
Algona now in a roll in set number 3, leading Clear Lake 20-11 and trying to finish this one off tonight in straight sets. Van Tiger serving right now for Algona. It's a low serve and it's too low as it will go into the net. And Clear Lake will get the serve back, but damage has been done. Bulldogs leading 20-12. And now Clear Lake needing a massive comeback here to try to rally. Aspen Hill will be serving for the Lions. It's been uncanny how similar these 3 sets have played out so far tonight. As Hill serves a little low, got over the net though, dug by Haynes, got it up front to Van Otterloo, who tapped it over on second contact. Now Landau on the left side, she'll aim for the corner and she found it. That ball landed on the baseline on the Bulldog side, and Landau makes it 20-13 as the Bulldog margin goes from 9-7 after back-to-back points by Clear Lake. Another jump serve, this time aimed towards the far side. Van Tiger to Van Otterloo, short set for Dunning. Can't put it down as the ball got stuffed right back to the Bulldog side. Bulldogs try again, this time with Limbaugh, who wipes it off the block attempt. Off the hands of McGrath in the Clear Lake front row. Limbaugh, some serious anger on that swing, and it's 21-13 in favor of the Bulldogs. And now Limbaugh will try to take it home for Algona. Bulldogs 4 points away. Here's the serve from the freshman, and she plants it in the back corner of Clear Lake. Landau let it go. That was not a wise decision, and the Bulldogs lead 22-13 after the Limbaugh ace. Not a ton of aces tonight for Algona, but excellent defense being played. Good blocking in the front row by Algona. Plentiful attacks by Limbaugh so far tonight. Limbaugh low serve, and this one too low as well. That one's into the tape and does not deflect over. 22-14 is the Bulldog lead after that service error. And now Emerson McGrath will try to be perfect for the Lions. McGrath has led the Lions in aces so far tonight. Angles it towards the far side and pulled it way out of bounds to the Bulldog bench. That was not what Clear Lake was looking for, and it's 23-14 Bulldogs. Dunning, who's had a big night for Algona. She'll be back to serve right now in the center of the court. Approaches, and she misfires on the serve as it's 23-15. Now these two teams struggling to get the ball over the net on the serve, but hey, if you continue to trade serves, it'll be a Bulldog win here shortly. If you trade service errors, we'll see if Payne gets the serving back on track for the Lions now. Payne serves from the near side, sends a knuckleball to Van Tiger in the Bulldog back row. Good pass to Van Otterloo. Dodds pushes it over. Clear Lake looking for Johnson. She'll push it back across. Dodds makes first contact. Now to Van Otterloo looking for Haynes. Haynes, big swing. Ball deflected backwards. And the Lions are not going to be able to save this one. Regan Haynes with the Bulldog point. Set point and match point for Algona, leading 24-15. It'll be Taylor Van Otterloo with the ball in her hands right now. Smile on her face as she sends it over. In the back row, backpedaling is Hegvet. Sends it straight up in the air. Now it is Johnson. Johnson bumps it over the net. Haynes right there for Algona. Van Otterloo taps it up in the air. Dunning pushes it across. I make that Dodds pushes it across. Now Johnson on the backside for Clear Lake. Big swing. A whistle on the play. And a net violation, I believe, is going to be called here against Algona. And that is waving around a little bit right now. And Clear Lake will stay alive for another point. making it 24-16. Landau for the Lions over to our left. Fires over to the Bulldogs side and serve. Limbaugh up to Van Otterloo. Here's Dodds to try to finish it, and Dodds ends it in 3 sets. She keeps it inside the baseline. Charlie Dodds gets the kill, and the Bulldogs get the win over Clear Lake. 25-15, 25-19, and 25-16. Bulldogs take control in the middle of each of the 3 sets tonight, and they leave no doubt a conference win for the Bulldogs as they move to 9-2 on the season, 2-1 in the NCC. Clear Lake will fall to 7-3. They will drop to 1-2 in NCC play. We'll take a quick timeout, wrap it up after this from Clear Lake High School and on Hometown Radio, KLGA.
Bringing you this game.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East, Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Oak Crest Funeral Service, celebrating a life lived.
Bill's Auto and Truck Repair Service is the difference.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840 or schindlerlawncare@gmail.com. More sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown Home Country Radio.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small, they love them all.
Hy-Vee, use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fill your car.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare.
Lichter's Garage Door Service, a reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Blusher's Family Dentistry, serving families since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Back here at Clear Lake, where the night started for Algona with Bella Jo Dunning and McKenna Elsbecker dancing around and singing on the bench during warm-ups. And it ends with McKenna Elsbecker and Bella Jo Dunning dancing and singing in the postgame as well. Bulldogs, they're a loose team, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of dancing, a lot of singing, a lot of celebrations, and, well, who could blame them? They're playing some great volleyball right now. Bulldogs win it tonight in 3 sets, 25-15, 25-19, and 25-16 over Clear Lake. These two teams came into very even records, but Algona showed they're a step above Clear Lake, at least tonight anyways, for this 3-set win. I would just commend the Bulldogs for the way they played defense tonight against the Lions. I mentioned earlier, there were just not a lot of kills the Lions were able to put down. A lot of the points by Clear Lake were either attack errors by Algona, just really good defensive plays for the Bulldogs, or balls sent out of bounds. But ultimately, Algona, some good defense, really in both the front and back row. A lot of different players had their time to shine tonight. And then the offense came once again from Kate Limbaugh, who led the Bulldogs in kills tonight. That's going to be a sentence we're saying a lot so far and going forward on the season. But Bulldogs do exactly what you'd hope they do on the road. They come out, they take the win tonight, and I think this is important as well because you saw a similar situation play out on Tuesday. Bulldogs got up 2-0, and then they struggled to put Storm Lake away before ultimately winning it in the 5th set. I think message received, lesson learned tonight. They did not let Clear Lake get back into it at any point, as Bulldogs were in control tonight, winning this in 3 sets. Like I said, the teams kind of went back and forth early in the sets. You could feel them feeling each other out. Clear Lake was playing pretty evenly with Algona in the first, we'll call it 40% of each set, but it was really a strong middle by the Bulldogs in each of the sets tonight. That 7-0 run in set 2 that helped the Bulldogs gain command over Clear Lake after going down 13-10 in that one. And then here in set 3, Bulldogs really put the hammer down. They got their lead up to, I believe, 9 points at one point here in the final set. They ultimately end up winning it by 9 points and end up defeating Clear Lake in this one to get that second NCC victory of the season. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a very busy weekend for both of these teams as they'll head off to the Forest City tournament. So the week not done for Algona. How about that? Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's going to be an all-around week here. These players will be quite tired after this one comes to an end, and not to mention homecoming week as well. So all kinds of stuff here going on in Bulldog land, but the volleyball players have handled it well so far for a pair of wins, and they will try to continue that coming up this weekend with the Forest City tournament. Coming up tomorrow, of course, homecoming football here on Hometown Radio KLGA, as Todd Van Otterloo and Brian Wilson will have the call of the Algona Bulldogs taking on Waverly Shell Rock. First meeting between those two teams since the 2013 season. I'll be over on KLGZ as Bishop Garrigan takes on St. Edmund in that football matchup. So that's what's coming up tomorrow night. In the meantime, though, we'll wrap things up for this one. This has been a sports production of Hometown Radio KLGA and the Algona Radio YouTube stream as Algona defeats Clear Lake tonight in straight sets.